And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We're getting a very short break here as we are getting into our second series, our final series of the night. Only 2 best of 7s, and to be fair, may not look like a lot of matches, but if we went all the way to the ace match, to game 7, then you'd be thinking otherwise. But yeah, so far we have had some short series here in Massive Coliseum, quite some arguably one-sided series as well. Like that was a little bit one-sided there. Hero was definitely coming in form tonight. Solar was just on the back foot, and now we're getting into our TvZ, into Maru versus Dark. And if you are in the chat, predictions are open. For the next 2 minutes, place your bets on how you think this series will go. Predictions open. As I believe, is this a rematch? Let me just double check here. Dark and Maru. This is a rematch. This is a rematch. Maru and Dark did face off earlier in the group stage. This was last week in the group stage, and Maru was looking terrifying in the group stage. That was when Maru 2-0'd Serral, and he also 2-0'd Dark. Like, Maru was a beast, and is a beast, and is looking in form. Dark, can he get his revenge? As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Maru for onside. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have Dark for Dark. Dark, of course, recently teamless, did recently leave CranKy Gaming. Currently a free agent looking for a team. There are rumors that a new team has actually found him, and he is to be signed and to be representing a team in TvZ. These are merely rumors, though. We don't have any confirmation yet. We'll have to wait and find out if Dark does kind of flex and flaunt a new team for IM. Until then, though, we're getting into our openers here, and we have Maru going for the 2x Reaper, going for a much more aggressive start on Oceanborn. 2x Reaper, of course, to mass Reapers to get across the map, to contain the Zerg player, to delay that third base for as long as we can, and potentially get a bit of economic damage done as well. There is potential for Maru, as Dark going for a hatch gas pull. Standard opener from our red Zerg player. Again, Dark, he's faced off against this opener many times here in the Korean scene, especially with Byun being a regular in a lot of these online tournaments. Dark is well versed. I'm sure Dark will be able to handle himself. And again, personally, I'm just hoping we get more of a back and forth here. We've had not just the 4-0 tonight, but we've had a lot of like one-sided series here. Like even in the playoffs, we've had, you know, Serral 3-0 Maru, we had Serral 4-0 Rainer, we had Maru 3-0 Cure, and again, even more 3-0s earlier. Like, the playoff bracket has been brutal. Even Dark, he 4-0'd MaxPax a couple of days ago. Like, MaxPax said he had no idea what hit him. It was an intense, fast series, and Dark just plowed his way through. It was crazy. His big, meaty arms. That's... As we are settling into this. Again, 2x Reaper. Reapers are zooming across the map as we speak. Going to be getting eyes on Dark. Going to be applying some pressure. So far, Lings, they try to come in first round. They get some hits in. To get a couple of hits in. Good movement here out of Dark. Queen's about to pop out as well. And so far, we haven't quite lost any Lings yet. No major losses. But Dark was forced to make 6 Lings, which is more of a standard here of Dark. Ooh, does sneak out that third, though. Maru, he's checking. Does check the triangle location, will confirm the third base though over on the left hand side, and with 3 Reapers he shouldn't be able to deny this. Yeah, we do see that there's just too much progression on that base. Dark being a little bit greedy, he's going to be able to get away with it. Queen takes a lot of damage, but Maru is forced out. Good target firing that at Dark, but the grenades! The KDA charge is knocking that Queen back. He wants it! Oh god, those Reapers getting so low. Again, good control from both sides. I would give the edge to Dark throughout all of this, just because Dark is able to get a much faster third than normal. So he will have a better economy overall here as Link Speed is finishing up. Behind this, we do have a third CC before Starport. We have Adamsop. There should be Cyclones as the follow-up. No, sorry, Hellions as the follow-up. Maru has been quite fond of incorporating a couple of Cyclones into Hellions. This time, purely Hellions from our Terran player. Link Speed kicks in. Oh, do we get us around? KDA charges do knock the queens. Do knock the lings away. We do get one of those Reapers. Only one. Behind this, Dark throws down a Roach Warren, I believe so far unscouted as the Reapers were forced back. And they do float up into the air to be born once again. It's beautiful. Roach Warren was hidden behind the main base. I'm curious if we want to commit. I'm curious if we're going to be doubling down here on Roach production. Dark going to be cutting workers here at 39. Does make 2 more Overlords, and there it is. Roaches are amassing. So far, this tech is hidden. So far, Maru has no idea what the hell is coming his way. And what's coming his way? A lot of Roaches, man. Let's go. Lings, I love that they're being proactive here again, just keeping the Hellions busy, keeping them away from scouting or from the main bases here of Dark. Here we go, Roaches so far, they're hidden. I believe the Hellions did not get close enough. They have barely got a glimpse of those Roaches. Do have Liberators on the way. Stim in production as well. Ooh, Stim is looking very exposed. Uh-oh. Double E-base being thrown down. Hellions trying to keep up with the Lings. We do shave off quite a lot of them. Lings are roasted, and we are all in. Like Dark, he is still amassing nothing but Ling, Roach, Ravager. This production in general is so exposed here for Maru. Everything is on the low ground. Uh-oh. Everything is on the low ground, and Dark, he's pulling the trigger. He's going across the map. Stim, almost done. It's so close. So close to finishing. That's a lot of Roach, Ravager. And can we deny it? Can we get on top of it in time? Oh, we can. We can, as Stim will be denied, will burn down. We get on top of the production. Reactor going to be shut down as well. Liberator just getting to the main. Hellions are racing back home as well. But Maru, he is in a lot of trouble here. As the Roach Ravager takes control of the production. Ling spotting on forward. Hellions being zoned away. They're trading well against the Lings, to be fair. Boys are being pulled. They have to be. Files being rained down on the army, but we do dodge. For the most part, what the piles are dodged, forced to kite back as well. 7 drones went down across the map to the Liberator. The piles, oh my god, connecting with the Marines. And we killed 19 SCVs. This is already paid for itself. God, that Lib's still going ham though. Shutting down any mining in the main base. As Darky reinforces with a massive wave of Lings. We have a tank all the way on the high ground, but we lose control of the low ground. There is no wall either, not yet. Once again, the boys are being pulled. We can't afford to lose any more here as 5 more workers go down. That's 24 SCVs in total. We're down to 22. Now, we do have 3 CC. We can mule. True. Mule's pappy. But even so, we're just contained to 1 base. And Dark from here can drone up. It looks like he has lost his queens, though. This one Lib, the MVP for Maru, denying any mining at the natural, 0 mining at the 3rd. But does Dark care? He's trying to force his way up into the main. Liberator finally goes down. But that Lib killed so many workers. I want to say killed 10 workers in total. And all those queens. Yeah, 10 workers and 3 queens. Ay, ay, ay. So Dark is not as far ahead as the otherwise should be. So we do see Maru try to take control of the low ground. It does force back the army. Will take a base. And can Maru bounce back? Now, the problem here is that Maru doesn't have any upgrades. Remember, he lost control of his production. He lost Stim. Stim just now restarting. Ravager, they push on forward. He wants to try to pile down those tanks if possible. Goes to the starport. Oh my god. The starport does catch fire. Tanks will be sieging. Ooh, big volley off on that Ravager. No shot Stim! No, can he get it again? He will. The piles! Stim is denied for a 2nd time. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. And even though Dark did sustain a lot of damage back at home, it's going to take so long for Maru to really hit the field and be active. He needs to, though. It's going to be so brutal pushing without Stim. Aspire on the way. A good way to take control of the map and once again just keep and contain Maru. Keep him back home. So Maru is stuck here. Now, thanks to the tanks, we have survived. We have, like, forced back the army and we've taken control of the natural once again. That is true. Stim is restarted. Again, Dark just saturating his bases. He's got double the worker count. The mules, though. We are muling our hearts out here. Now, once Stim eventually kicks in, then Maru, he can do the field with drop play. He can be active. You can see here he's actually faking out a drop, trying to keep Dark busy. With an empty medevac. Oh, clutch scan, though. We do get eyes on the Spire. And just because Maru is aware of the Spire, though, will that really help? I mean, he can throw down some turrets. That's going to be a lot of resources, though. Doesn't necessarily have. Third base is being taken. Maru, can we stabilize? We're getting back. We're catching back up. Slowly. We're slowly catching back up. +1 attack is done. 1-1 is done. Sorry, 2-2 soon to be on the way. Marines have hit the field. Stim's about to finish. He should just build Cyclones. True. Colossi knows. He knows, man. Muta going to be slipping in. Turret just now starts, and we are going to chip away at this. There's only one Muta, though. Literally one Muta. So, again, Dark, he knows he got scouted. He knows that the Spire was seen, so he only made a single Muta, and if he had made more, he would have found some damage, to be honest. Maru, woefully underprepared for Mutas in his bases outside of his third. His third had a turret. Tank line is set up. Dark getting ready to push in. Miles going to be connecting. One tank goes down. We get a tank and we're snowballing out of control. Boys are being pulled, but there's just barely anything to protect these tanks. They're so vulnerable, so exposed. Second tank falls. The third tank as well. There's 2 tanks remaining. We do trade well against the Roach Ravager. Ooh, as we get one more tank alongside 12 SCVs. And Dark, he can rebuild. Maru, it's going to take quite some time to build up that tank count again. So we have a 2-2 on the way. Here we go. This time, looks like Dark realized, hold up, you haven't respected my Spire. Let's make you respect it. As we double down, we make a flock of mutas. Still no turret in the main base. And we are looking to wreak havoc. Combat shield's about to finish up. SCVs are going to be going down. Oof. It's going to be 4 or 5 dead workers. Okay, the production, pick off some of these add-ons, get some more SCVs. We go for the tank. Won't quite get it. 7 workers in total. We do bleed out a couple of mutas, but we keep Maru back at home. And Dark, he's maxed out once again for a second time. Looking to push in, and this time there's only 1 tank on the low ground as opposed to the 5 that we had earlier. That was the only reason why we were able to hold on. There's 1 tank siege, the other tank forced back. Wiles will connect. Will connect here. Again, Maru trading quite well, stimming on top of the Ravagers, but the mutas are coming from behind. The final tank falls. Maru, he's forcing this army back. Oh my god, but he lost 17 SCVs. Despite how efficiently he's trading. And he is trading efficiently. Like, impressive fight here from Maru. 2-2 don't play. Yeah, the medevac's going ham on these Marines as well. The stutter stepping from Dark, and there's just so much that Maru can achieve with only micro. At a certain point, the economy, the production, that all comes into play as well. And it's just something that he doesn't have. Again, trading well though. So there it is. GG gets called. The writing is on the wall, and Dark will take game number 1. GG. Again, a very chaotic game there, very aggressive. Dark, after swatting away the initial Reapers, after getting into a faster third base, if you remember, he did throw down a very fast Roach Warren. A Roach Warren that was hidden behind the main base mineral line. It was not scouted. As a result, we went for a big Roach Ravager Ling all in, and Maru was woefully underprepared. He did not see it coming ahead of time. It wasn't just that he didn't see it coming, it was also just very unfortunate that all of his production was on the low ground. He had the Raxes, the factory, the starport as well. Everything was on the low ground, everything was at the natural, and as a result, when we broke the natural, the production was compromised, and Maru was that much more vulnerable as well. Everything went south very quickly, and Dark able to take that first game. Able to take that first game here, take a lead in this best of 7. But it's a best of 7. We can have it back and forth. And in the top right-hand corner, we have Maru for Equilibrium. For onside. In the top left of Equilibrium, we have Dark, representing himself. Currently teamless, currently looking for a team. Maybe found a team. Again, keep your eye out on Team Liquid, on social medias for any kind of announcements in the coming weeks. As we do have Maru coming in with an SCV. Zooming across the map quite quickly here. Where are we going, Poppy? Checking the goal base. Moving past. And the singular SCV. Interesting. So we are committed to a proxy Rax. So that was just me just squinting and zooming in on the minimap. Like, yeah, there's no other SCVs moving out, so interesting proxy here from Maru. Curious how he pieces this all together. And how committed he does become. Now again, I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't end up vetoing this map. Instead we had other prioritizations. So Equilibrium, typically a Zerg favored map in the map pool. It's a very large map, very wide open in the center, a lot of bases to be taken, and of course the goal base is a big factor as well. A base that is at times difficult to punish, especially early on. So interesting that Maru does opt to go for a proxy Reaper. Yeah, with that, Rax is done and Reapers are on the way. It's only going to be a singular Rax, so not the most committed proxy. From here, Maru is going to be transitioning back at home. SCV comes in, we're going for a bunker, but we get scout. Oh my god. Dark having the foresight to scout. He does get eyes on the bunker, is going to be able to delay the bunker overall. But he hasn't quite pieced together how committed this is. But again, like, this bunker is so early, it was only one SCV. Yeah, really interesting build here out of Maru. It's very, like, TVP-esque. I would usually see this in a TVP. And bunker is going to be delayed. Is going to be denied. We force a cancel. Reaper does arrive. And we'll see if we can get any drone kills here. These drones, they do take a lot of hits. Ooh, clutch Spore. Spore is morphed in. Lings have arrived. Oh my god. Reaper does manage to slip away, and we have our follow-up. It's going to be the CC on the low ground, followed by a factory here. So we're not going for a 2-1-1 variation or anything like that. The question becomes, what comes after the factory? And with that Rax up in the air, with that Rax floating back home, it's going to be a third CC before Starport. Do we invest into something like a second factory, for example? Are we willing to invest into something other than Fire? Maru did attempt mech against several the other day in Masters Coliseum. Didn't work, but he did try it. Let's see what we have in store for us here on Equilibrium. Where are we headed? Reaper dips into the main. Pretty important scouts we get behind the mineral line. Just like the previous game, we saw that Maru wasn't able to confirm the tech, so he dives into the main base. He confirms no hidden tech behind the mineral line. He also confirms no additional gases, and then we haven't pulled it into gas or into that main gas geyser either. So a big scout, Maru, he confirms there's no roach rush, which I'm sure is going to be something that Maru is very apt and adept at throughout this entire series, scouting for roaches. I mean, it's Dark. It is wise to do so. Behind this, of course, we do have our tech lab on the way here. Going for an add-on sub, going for Cloak Banshees. Okay, so it's going to be a Cloak, or it's going to be a 3cc into Cloak Banshee opener. Pretty standard, pretty economic so far. Nothing too crazy. I'm looking at that SCV to see what the next production building gets back. There it is. A second factory has been thrown down. There's a reason why the Rax was just, of course, floating on over, was doing nothing. No Marines, because we are going into Hellions. And I wonder, did Maru glance over at the chat? Did he see Colossal Gulp talk about the Cyclone? Because, Papi, we're going to be seeing some Cyclones. He's doing it. Oh my god. He knows how to win games. Kappa. For now, though, it's going to be Hellion at Banshee. We are committing to Banshees, committing to Hellions here. Moving out across the map, gaining map control. Second factory is still getting up and running before we invest into any kind of add-ons. There we go. Third factory on the way. Triple factory production. Show us the mech. There it is. Hurricane thrusters on the way. We didn't start with cyclones, but that's where we're headed. Let's go. Now again, Dark should have an inkling of this. The fact that the first Rax was proxied and was floating for so long is a bit of a tell, but he doesn't have confirmation, not yet. Hellions have revealed themselves, but this is only 6 Hellions. This isn't a big tell either. Like, this is standard here, even in bioplay, to open up with 6 Hellions. So there's still no major red flag. There's no major sign to tell Dark as to what's going on. Not yet. Now, the lair is about to finish up. When the lair does finish, Dark should be going for an Overseer Scout. Very important here to go for that Overseer, to get into the main base, to get a read on what's happening. We have Hurricane Thrusters on the way. Blue Flame is being researched as well. As Maru does get across the map with his Banshees. We have 2 Banshees so far. We have a 3rd Banshee on the way. Queens are in position at the 3rd. 1, 2 drones go down. 3 workers even. Very nice pickoffs. Very nice pickoffs here from Maru. Wreaking havoc. Behind this, we have 1-1 on the way. We're rushing into an infestation, but this is to get into fast hive. Ooh, Ling Bane into hive tech, into potentially ultras. It's okay, but again, not ideal here against mech. As it is quite fragile, it takes quite a bit to get into ultras, assuming that's the direction we want to take this in. Could try to go Ling Bane Hydra instead. For now, Cyclones have been revealed. Now we know. Now we are aware of the mass Cyclone. We are aware of the mech instantly. Roach Warren gets thrown down. You can see the Dark. Oh, he had no idea. Forces to cancel. Goes for the Hydrogen instead. A little bit indecisive there by Dark. I do like Hydras a little bit more here in this position, just because he does see the third Banshee. Should be aware that we are committed into additional Banshee production. Here we go. The army pushing on forward and denying a lot of creep. The lock-ons are thrown down. You go to top of the Queens. So far, Clutch Transfuse. But Queens are now going down. We get 2, we get 3. And 3 Queens fall. We get a 4th Queen, a 5th Queen. We're snowballing out of control. 5 Queens fall. There's 3 Queens left. Lings, they try to collapse on the army. And they bring down some of the Hellions. The Cyclones, though. Yeah, they're getting on top of the Baileys. Good splits here from Maru. Cleans up the Ling Bane. Pushes towards the bases. We have an Infestor, but where's the support? What do we have to follow up that Fungal? As Maru, he's breaking through. Fungal does connect. But again, there's barely any Lings. Barely any Lings here as we do barely kite away. Banshee's wreaking havoc here towards the south. There's no Spore. No Spore, no Queens. Again, most Queens went down and so much economic damage is being done. We're trickling with Lings. It's not going to be enough. And GG gets called. Maru will break Dark and will tie up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played again. Dark had no idea that mech was on the horizon until it was already in his face. He was getting ready for bio. That's why he had Ling Bane. That's why he had Baneling Speed finishing up. That's why he had the Infestation Pit. That's why he was working towards Hive Tech. He just had no idea what was happening until it was too late. And by that point, again, just pure Ling Bane with Queens, it's not good enough. It is not good enough. We saw how well the army of Maru traded. We saw how Dark just could not hold the line against the mass Hellion Cyclone. GG. GG, well played. We have a back and forth. We have a series. We have broken the curse, and we will not get a 4-0. Not this time. Not this time. Let's go. And with that, I also wanted to quickly have a look at the vetoes as well. Oh, Hecate was vetoed. Okay, as we do load in, and in the top left-hand corner, we have Maru for onside. And in the bottom right, we have Dark. Here we go. Dark, of course, very fond of gasless openers on this map, and you can see Dark going for a 15-15. Now, to wind it back, if you were here in the last season, if you remember Neo Humanity, very similar features to this map, where Neo Humanity was quite defendable, didn't have a ramp leading into the natural, that's true, but the natural was very narrow. Very narrow. Similar here with Golden Aura. We have seen Dark time and time again open gasless here on Golden Aura. But now it is going to be a 15-15. We'll see if we do delay the gas even further and take a faster third base. We'll see how greedy Dark is going to be here. How many corners will we cut? So a very different opener here from Dark. Greedy as he's been so far in this series. Meanwhile, Maru throwing down his racks back at home. If Terran has to win after all, let it be Maru and Mech. You're an animal. Oh no. What have we done to Maru? He's playing Mech, Papi. Not like this. You were the chosen one. You weren't meant to embrace the Cyclowns. Not like this. Smooch. Oh. But we'll see how this does progress. It looks like it's just going to be a standard 15-15 from Dark. He's not going for a faster third, but regardless, bit of a cheekier opener here from Dark, as he's going to be able to delay his gases, get faster queens, and drone a little bit harder as well. The goal here for Dark is to skip lanes, just skip lanes entirely, defend with only queens. I think it's a standard opener. He should be able to pull this off. Should be able to pull this off. As behind this, we do have Maru just getting to his rack expand, followed by the factory. Not getting into any kind of faster second racks. And we should be getting to a third CC behind this as well. Maru has shown us that he's willing to 2-base all in this matchup. But, and Goldenrod wouldn't be the worst map for it, but I can't imagine he's going to be 2-basing all in Dark of all players. There it is. Third TC is in production there for Maru. Before Starport's a very economic opener from our Terran player. Very economic. We'll see how we follow this up. If we do go into a delayed Starport into another rack, or if we just commit to Banshee production again. As we saw in the previous game, just because it's 3cc doesn't mean it has to be Bio. Could be Mech again for a second time. Which again does have its own strengths here on Goldenrod, just because of the short rush distance. We shall see. BRB changing pants. Oh no. Not like this. They're all animals. As Hellions are amassing. Again, 3-base setup here from Dark is just happily droning up, and as we mentioned, did delay his link speed, did delay link production, is only defending with queens for the time being. Just trying to cut some corners here. We'll see if Maru does end up going for a dive. Meanwhile, interesting, we're going for a Viking first. Viking first here from Maru, which means we are not going into Banshees. We're also not quite set up for an add-on swap either. Looks like instead we have Stim, Viking into, I imagine, Liberators. Meanwhile, Dark going for a very safe opener, going for a faster Bailey Nest. I'm curious though. I believe that Bailey Nest, okay, it's a part of the wall. But it is going for a Bailey Nest first. Very safe way to play. This will keep you safe against something like a Hellbat push. But I'm curious if Dark wants to try to make greater use of it. Lair now on the way. Again, very interesting. A safer way to open up would have been a Lair first, then into the Bailey Nest. But I mean, I say safer, like a more standard way to open up. But just very safe here from Dark. So Dark respecting his opponent quite a lot. So we're making 5 safety Bailings as well. Oh my god, Dark, he's terrified. Okay. Dark, a little bit paranoid as to what Maru's up to. As you just mentioned, like, morphing in these Bailings typically is only done if you believe that you're being hit by something like a Hellbat push, so that's not really the case here. Maru, he's just poking and prodding, and Dark is spending quite a bit of resources here in defenses that aren't quite necessary. I'm assuming aren't quite necessary, but we'll see. As Hellions continue to threaten these bases, we have the Liberator threatening a dive into the main. There we go, Liberator is queued up. Now these Bailings, they can help defend against the Hellions if the Hellions dive in. If the Hellions commit to a dive, then we can punish them with the Bailings. Another Liberator tries to get into the main base. Spores are keeping up. Skillings, they try to get a collapse on these Hellions. Not quite able to, they do slip away. Do slip away as we're getting into 1-1 behind this. Layer is now done. We can get into bathing speed. Likewise, Maru just getting into his own rack setup here. Racks are finishing up. 1-1 on the way. We're getting into bite. We are easing on into the mid game. Oh, let's go. For the first time, Bobby. For the first time in this series. As they say that, big scan, Hellies a push on 4. They deny quite a bit of creep here. So you do push in between the bases. Behind this, we're rushing into a very fast infestation bit. Very greedy here out of Dark, off of 3 bases. Now, we saw this attempted on Equilibrium, if you remember. This should be for Lingbane into Ultra Tech. That's typically kind of the direction that this takes, and something that Dark does enjoy doing is Lingbane into Ultra. It can be risky. The downside here is that we do lack some anti-air. We rely on Queens to deal with drop play. And again, we are lacking an army at the moment, trying to be as defensive as possible, trying to hold on. At the same time, Dark ready for a counterattack. Bathings are finishing up. Bathing speed about to finish as well in 10 seconds. We'll see if we can try to bust into that mineral line. Dark catching the army in the center of the map. Bathing's gonna be rolling on in. We do pull the boys. Boys are pulled away just in time. We do force a cancel on the CC. And the Bathings, they crash into the mineral line. And do we get in? We barely do not. One big connection, but one Bathing is not good enough. And Maru will hold. Good defense here from Maru. There was quite a bit of chaos ensuing, but he does hold the line. Doesn't lose any ACVs. Look how low they are, though. Oh my god. It was a big, juicy connection in that mineral line. But again, wasn't good enough. What do I... Oh! No, my god. Lion shot. Finally going to be going up here on these lings. As you can see, again, Dark, he threw away a lot of supply trying to harass that third. And didn't really quite pay off. And now, Maru, he's taking the lead here. He's taking the lead in terms of supply. Infestors are on the way. That will help. That will help here against the Bio Army. 5 Infestors in production. Can we hold on though? Can we survive this? As Dark is still recovering and he has fallen behind in the economy due to his investment into Lingbane, due to his lack of return. Oh. So here we go. Double drop still threatening the main base. We do have the main army pushing towards the left-hand side. Towards that 4th. As the Widowmines are going to be slowly borrowing on board. How good are the... Oh my god, the Fuggles! Massive connections. The friendly fire as well! Oh my god, and we clean up every single one of those Marines. It was a costly trade. We did lose an Infestor as well. But a good cleanup nonetheless. We forced back the tank. That was a good fight for Dark. We're going to need another. Still in a rough place. Ooh, we do manage to land a fungal, but there's no anti-air. Drops, they will manage to get away. At the same time, well, there's no detection. The Widowmines, they reset. They do reset here. Detection's still on the way. Maru trying to fortify this position. Lings, they come in for a dive. They come in for a sound. Big mine shot's going to be going up for the Lings. Looks like Dark, yeah, he's being forced back here. We'll clean up part of this army. Does come with detection. At the same time, though, a drop on the right-hand side. Does avoid the Fungals. Hydra Den is on the way. We're getting ready for Lingbane Hydra. Once again, the Widowmines are about to reset. Looks like we'll barely collapse on one of them. Not quite the other. Oof. As Lingbane rolls on in. Not bad when it comes to connections for Dark. Does clean up a decent chunk of the bio, but you can see that Maru, his economy is insane behind this. He's on 83 workers. His economy on fire. And he's just building up his Marine Marauder, working towards Ghosts. And Dark needs a miracle. Like, he needs more fights like what we just saw, where we can land some big fungals, some big connections. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Dark can come back in this game, but he is behind. He is on the back foot here, and Maru, he is rocking up here across the map with a massive army. Big mine shot! Oh my god! Massive mine shot on those Lings. We have a bit of Ling Bane left over. Additional mine connections here on the Ling Bane as well. We're running out of Banelings. We're running out of steam. We're running out of money. Maru, he can keep pushing. Again, the fungals are slowing him down. Oh, we need more than just a fungal. As the Lings, they trickle on in. We run out of steam. GG here as Maru is going to be taking a lead in this best of 7. 2-1. GG. GG, well played again. Things were pretty back and forth overall. Things were pretty close, but things very quickly swung in favor of Maru, as we mentioned, when Dark did counterattack. He threw away a lot of Ling Bane, attempting to try to cripple the economy of Maru, and again, he didn't really touch the economy of Maru. We threw away so much supply, and for what? For lost mining time, really. That's really it. Maru, he was able to trade efficiently, was able to clean that army up, gain momentum, gain a supply lead, and just keep the aggression, the pressure on Dark from that moment. GG. Very well done. Very well done there by Maru. Does take a 2-1 lead. Needs 2 more games to take the series here, as we're going to be loading in to Hard Lead. Hard Lead is coming up next. But something that I was mentioning before was the bans. The bans are interesting to me. Hecate, a more defendable map, and we can get into that as we do load in. And in the bottom right hand corner, we have Maru for onside. And in the top left, we have his opponent. We have Dark representing himself. Currently teamless here, but yeah, interesting that Hecate was vetoed. I can understand the rationale. Hecate again is very defendable, and in my understanding, I would imagine that Dark wants to avoid that kind of situation, with the Terran player just turtling up and just really cutting the map in half and slowing the game down in such a manner. To be fair, there are other maps that are also known for that, maps like Alcyone, for example, but the difference is that the rush distance by ground is shorter on Hecate, so if a fight goes the Terran way, then they can very quickly snowball into a win. On a map like Alcyone, you have more time to remax and rebuild and breathe. So we have gotten rid of Hecate alongside Royal Blood, which makes plenty of sense. I guess it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. As here we go. We're going to be easing into game number 4 here. This is going to be a hatch gas pool opener out of Dark. Maru going for a Rax Expand standard opener here from Maru. Let's go. Yeah, as Ash was saying, just catching some people up here on some of these previous games. Remember as well, we didn't just snipe Stim on the, we sniped it on the high ground as well. Like, Stim was not safe. But yeah, Dark, he gained a lot of momentum when it came to his all-in. Like, it was brutal. It was brutal. It was brutal. But now, of course, we're getting into our next game, and so far Maru is the one with momentum. He does have momentum in this series. Does have control. Reaper moves out. Barely does miss that drone. Won't be able to delay the third base. Behind this, getting to our factory. Getting into our follow-up here. The dance has begun. And up! Ooh, we get a drone! Uh-oh. One worker goes down. A good pick-off already here from Maru. Very good start here. More than he has achieved so far in this series. Behind this, going for a third CC before Starport, so very economic follow-up as well. Isn't it weird how infantry is faster than mech in this game? Why did Terrans even invent the wheel? In my mind, like, would the Terran army be more efficient if their tanks were kind of like the Flintstones, and like the Marines, the drivers inside would stim and like push it from the inside? would the tank move faster? That'd be amazing. Oh my god. Aye. as the Overlord comes into the main base, does dip in, gets eyes on the starport, I believe gets eyes on the third CC, so we're fully aware of the economic opener, we're fully aware of the follow-up. Roach Warren is going to be thrown down by Dark behind the natural base. Again, Dark, he's known for his Roach play, it's kind of his bread and butter, and has been struggling without his Roach, so now we're just getting back into it. Now, with that hidden Roach Warren, I'm curious how hard we're going to be committing here and how many Roaches we make. Do we only invest into 9 and then back off, or do we invest into 9 and reinforce with additional Lings and commit? For now, we can see that Dark is droning, though. He is droning. He's saturating up to 38 workers. Sorry, 39. As behind this, once again, it is not going to be 3cc Banshee, it's going to be 3cc into Viking, into Liberator instead. There are those 9 Roaches that we did mention, and again, I was curious if we were just going to be making these 9 Roaches and then droning, or if you make Lings alongside them. 2 more Overlords on the way. Oh, we are committed. Very reminiscent here of the map on Oceanborn, of the game on Oceanborn, where Dark is pushing with Roaches and reinforcing with Mass Ling. Oh boy. Now, there was a lot of reasons as to why this was more successful on Oceanborn. Can we replicate that success here on Hardlead? Now, the rush distance by ground on Hardlead is shorter. It is shorter on this map, so all-ins do hit that much harder here on this map. So far, we do have no scouting so far. Maru, he's unaware of the all-in that has avoided his army. Has avoided his Lings, his Hellions, has avoided his Banshees, his Liberators even. Bunkers are on the way. We now realize what's going on. Bunkers are in production. The Hellions, they do run into the Roaches. Good body blocking there. Hellions are getting shut down. They do manage to barely slip on by. Boys are being pulled. Lings have arrived. And workers are falling. This time, though, the Liberator is back at home to defend. We do deny some of those Ravagers. Very nice positioning there with the Liberator. Very nice canceling from Dark. As he busts on forward, bunkers are barely finishing, but there are no repairs, and bunkers are going down. And they're going down one after the other. Biles! Oh, the Bile misses! No shot. One of the Biles does barely miss. Bunkers are finishing. Ravagers are being focused down. Can we hold? It's still so close, but it looks like Liberator is finally going to be going down. It finally will fall. So will the bunkers. We have 4 Ravagers left. We break through. Tank gets up and running on the high ground. But we kill 21 SCVs. Oh, we bile down the tank as well. GG gets called as Dark breaks on through and ties us up once again, 2-2. GG. Oh my god. It's a slugfest, papi. We are going back and forth here. Maru asking for a small break. Maybe hopping on over off of cams to not give his puppy a hug, maybe give Bjorn a hug. Bjorn has been in the background before. I wonder if he's there for moral support. GG's. Again, this was a very similar all-in from Dark as we saw in Oceanborn. As you did mention, does hit a little bit harder, a little bit faster on Hecate. And again, really good positioning out of Dark. One, to be able to avoid the scouting of Maru, and also to body block the Hellions, focus down so many of them. And the Biles were so on point as well. Despite the Liberator being defensive back at home, it was still biled down. The bunker still fell as well, and Dark was able to break the defenses. GG. GG, well played. And again, like a big part of this as well is just Maru. It took him a little bit too long to recognize what was happening. Again, the bunkers had barely started by the time that Dark had arrived, and likewise, the Hellions were caught out. Were out on the map. And with that, GG. We are going to be easing our way into our next game, though, to determine who takes a lead in this series, who gains some momentum here on Site Delta. Flintstone tanks. Give a warning. Oh no. I like the idea, puppy. I like it. Zero space. Take note. Go. We go. Dark piles all over me. Oh, you're an animal. I like how I don't know if it's always been like this, but Coliseum, papi, You're all over all the players tonight. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have Maru for onside. In the top left, we have Dark for himself. Our teamless Zerg player, as he did mention, to determine who takes the lead in this series. We're tied up 2-2 right now. It looks like we are going for a 2 Rax Reaper opener. Let's go. Let us go. Maru's wrist taped up. Yeah, he has had that for a couple of weeks now. We noticed it in WTL as well. Did notice it in WTL. It's a tattoo. Are you sure? I don't think it is. I'm gonna need some confirmation on that. Oh. As we are getting into openers here, Rax on the low ground. I assumed it was gonna be a 2 Rax Reaper opener, and there we go. The next SCV is headed on over. Oh, never mind. Yeah. I've got my eyes on the meme. I was like, did I see a worker come on over? I didn't, Bobby. Okay, interesting. So this is gonna be the special build instead. I mean, I guess they're all special builds in a way. It's gonna be a Rax with a factory on the low ground, followed or after the CC, I should say, with the factory on the low ground. This is a build that Special did popularize. Fun fact: the 2 Rax Reaper was originated by Special as well. Special has been the player to kind of be a little bit more exploratory, and players like Beyond and Maru to kind of take that and turn that into their own. So again, this is just a way to wall up quite quickly here on the low ground to get into our tech. This is also typically followed by Cyclones initially, so I'm curious if that's going to be the case here for Maru as well. So again, he does fan out his Marines. So quite a different opener here from our Terran player. Meanwhile, back at home, Hatch Gas pull out of Dark. Standard opener. Into his 3rd base. Now, what's interesting here is the Overlord. I don't know if you noticed there, but Maru, he was looking for the Overlord, trying to get a read on it. Usually when you add-on swap here, the lifted racks can actually give you a vision of the pillar, and you can kill the Overlord if that's where it is. But we can see that Dark actually sends his Overlord towards the main instead. It's a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, it's safe. On the other hand, he doesn't really know what the opener is. But he soon will, as the Lings are about to arrive. They do get eyes on the wall. Ooh, we are opening up double Hellion and the starport in the main. Now, as you can imagine, because the starport is in the main base, there's no add-on swap, and there's not going to be really any kind of Banshee potential here. But it is a 1-1-1. Bear that in mind. Quite an aggressive opener here out of Maru. Where are you taking us, Bobby? Where are we going? We have seen Maru whip out Hellbat variations relatively recently as well. I could be thinking of Clem though. Regardless, we have seen Hellbat builds. We have seen Hellbat builds kind of rise in popularity over the past couple of weeks. And there it is. Armory is on the way. It is going to be a Hellbat push out of Maru. Back at home, Dark reading this quite well here as we get a bit of latency. But that's a Roach Warren on the way. Uh-oh. Roach Warren is already in production, and that is a way to shut down a Hellbat push if I've ever seen one. Oh boy. Hellions, they did dip in. I don't think they got up the ramp. I don't believe the Roach Warren has been scouted. But here we go. Hellions are amassing. We're going to have a Liberator to support. We have options. We can either have the Liberator with the main army or head into the main base. As Roaches are... Yeah, they're already amassing. Roach is already on the way. Maybe 5 Marine drop it moving out across the map. And things are about to get rowdy. If Maru loses too much here, he will trigger a counterattack. Hellbats are morphed in. We do get eyes on the Roach Warren. The concave is real. Roaches are filing on out. Yeah, good focus firing. The medevac falls instantly. Oh my god. The Queens are looking quite exposed. Good stutter stepping here from Maru. He gets into the mineral line. He goes straight for the drones. Goes straight for the workers. He gets 3, but he will only get 3. And we shut down the army. We shut down the push. We have a bunker on the way back at home. We're getting into Banshee production to help survive. And here comes the counterattack. Now, we are not... Did we... Production. Do we need that? Which I don't think we needed a reaction shot. We are going for a big counterattack. Now, what's important is that Dark isn't making Lings behind this. Like, there's a world where maybe he makes Ravagers and he goes for a big all-in counterattack and he busts into the natural. But no, Dark is droning. Does arrive with his Roaches. Hellions are going in for a counterattack. Can we deny Stim? Yeah, no Ravagers, but that depot is under fire. It's going to be going down. The Hellions, they go for the dive. They dive into the middle line. Good reaction here out of Dark. He does pull away the workers, but some of them do get roasted. 5 drones go down. 5, 6, 8 workers. Oh my god. The drones did line up. 8 workers fall, but the Roaches, they get into the middle line, and the bunker does not protect it. We avoid the natural. We dive into the main base. We could deny Cloak. We will deny Cloak. Big pick up here by Dark. Cloak is going to get shut down. Roaches, they split off. We got 3 Roaches in the main. We got 2 Roaches here in the natural. SCVs are going down. Remember as well, Maru did open up 1-1-1. His 3rd CC was delayed, so unlike some of these other games, doesn't have the best economy to fall back on. Oh, as we are still just pulling Maru apart. The control here, the attention to detail with a lot of these Roaches. We even have a drone here. Wanted to be a part of this. 18 SCVs go down. Dark is finally forced back behind this, going into gases, going into Aspire. And the drone, it lives. Get out of here. He wanted to be a Roach. As the drone does fall back. And sure, the Banshees will have map control. They will be able to force back the army, threaten the mineral lines. Remember, there is no Cloak as it was denied. But that's what the Banshees are. Sorry, that's what the Mutas are for. The Mutas, they're on the way to shut down these Banshees and to take map control away from Maru. Oh god, we do force a cancel, not bad. As the Banshees do arrive, we do force a cancel on that hatchery. Not too bad. Hatchery was cancelled. But again, the Spire was not scattered. That's what I'm concerned about. We weren't able to get eyes on the tech, on the Spire. Mutas are on the way. They will soon reveal themselves to the Banshees, I imagine. That will force a reaction. As back at home, Maru, he's trying to drone on up, building as many SCVs as he can. Now again, does Dark avoid the Banshees, or does he go for them? He's avoiding. Oh my, let's go. He is avoiding the Banshees. Again, he's more concerned with the surprise factor of killing SCVs, going the long way around, going for the mineral lines. The drop does barely miss the Mutas as well. Stim is done. But we are soon to get a bunch of SCVs here as we do dive into the mineral line, into the natural base. SCVs are going to be going down. A quick reaction there out of Maru. Does throw down those turrets. Oh, it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 SCVs and counting here in the main. Oh my god, this is becoming far too much here. We get a mineral line. 12, 13 SCVs go down at the same time. Here comes the double drop. Dark, not ready for this. 6 drones go down and a queen. Maru is doing some counter damage across the map. He is trying to hold on here. Oh, the tank. The medevac goes down. The tank as well. Big pickups here by Dark. And he does hold back at home. And here come the Mutas. They're looking to shut down these medevacs. Shut down these drops. Yeah, they come in to disrupt. Full medevac goes down. Oh my god. 2 medevacs do fall. Dark, he maintains map control. He's soon to max out as well. And Maru has 1 less tank to defend. He lost his medevac as well, so he can't sustain himself. His army is heavily overstimmed. And the Mutas, they're not done. They got another SCV. Do get another SCV here. It's Dark. He's amassing an army. He's looking to push out across the map once again, knocking down these rocks. 2-2 on the horizon. Mutas, they do dip in. They get another read on the army positioning here. Tank forced on siege. Oh, that's going to make this position that much more vulnerable. And we catch the tank. The tank is caught on siege. 3 tanks in total. 1 of them goes down. We're down to 2. GG gets called. There is no holding this. And Dark takes a lead in this series. GG. GG, well played. Maru opening up with a Hellbat push, and it did fall on its face. As Dark, Dark didn't even scout, by the way. I don't know if he really recognized what Maru was doing. Just happened to open up roaches regardless. Was so well set up for the eventual push for the Hellbats. He shut it down quick and easy. And then Maru was on the back foot. He was behind from that moment as Dark was able to counterattack, bust into the main, bust into the natural. Did so much damage with those roaches. And with that, Dark is one game away from advancing on into the next round to face off against Hero. As a reminder, Hero just 4-0'd Solar. Hero is waiting for the winner of this series in the lower bracket. Oh boy, the pressure is on. Now, what I will say though is that we have had a back and forth here, and usually when one player has taken a lead, the other player catches up. So now it's Maru's turn to win. And here we go. In the top right, we have Maru for onside. And in the bottom left, we have his opponent. We have Dark, a Korean Zerg player. Arguably the best Zerg player in all of Korea. And this time, Maru is going for the depot on the high ground. There's no 2 racks Reaper opener. There's no low ground and racks expand into the factory. None of that shenanigans. We're opening up standard here from Maru. No proxies either. So a standard opener from our Terran player. Likewise, soon to be a standard opener from our Zerg player as well. We are easing into this. Good day, Puppy. Good day. Good day. Oh, oh, the Terrans are rocking up in the chat. Sheldon, but is it GeoGuessr time? Is it time for GeoGuessr? Let's go. As Dark is opening up with a hatch gas pool, standard opener here out of Dark, as we did mention. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. Likewise, Maru getting into his own opener as well. We're just easing ourselves into Solaris. Solaris, of course, is an interesting map. Does have quite a lot of bases to be taken. We have seen a decent amount of late game here on Solaris, but there are also speed zones in the center of the map, and that has led to some Queen all-ins. We have seen some Queen Roach all-ins, especially in other matchups like ZVP. Not too sure if Dark is willing to do that. Nah, it's Dark. Who am I talking about? Of course he's willing to go for Roach all-ins. 100%. Willing to, but will he? That's the question. So far, a lot of, or most of, if not all of Dark's wins in this series have been off the back of Roach variations and Roach aggression. Again, it is his wheelhouse. It's Dark's expertise. It is what he's been relying on, and maybe what he needs to win this entire series. For the time being, Reaper is on the way. Maru soon to get across the map, and I'm curious how Maru does open as well. But now we have the factory on the way behind this. Soon, I imagine, to be a 3rd CC before starport. Reaper does dip in, gonna be threatening those lings. Ooh, as we do manage to pick off one of those things as well. Not bad. Oh my god. We get 2. We got 2 lings already. Not bad here from Maru. No drones, of course, but lings nonetheless. Value nonetheless. Oh. As behind this, we do have a 3rd CC on the way. 3rd CC before starport from our Terran player. We're just pointing out that Dark has the resources, has the gas for ling speed, but has not started ling speed, which is a little bit odd. It may just be an oversight from Dark. It may be intentional, but usually when you're cutting income here at 100 gas, it is for ling speed, and it is, I think, a bit of a mistake here that Dark hasn't started it, and that can be quite impactful as the game goes on. As the Overlord did dip in for a moment, did get eyes on the 3rd CC, did get eyes on the starport as well. 2nd gas being taken, we are skipping ling speed and we're going straight into roaches instead. Now, what this means, though, because this is a fast hidden Roach Warren, is that without link speed, we cannot reinforce with speedlings. So even though we're rushing into Roaches, Lings have their place as well in this army composition. So I'm a little bit concerned. We'll see. We'll see how we piece this together. Meanwhile, there's no add-on swap, so we have a Viking on the way, soon to be, I imagine, into Liberators. Definitely no Banshees on the horizon here for Maru. He is opening a Viking. There it is. Roaches are in production as we speak. Roaches on the way. I'm concerned if we're going to be seeing Lings in the production tab. If we do see Lings in the production tab, that means that we have forgotten that we do not have Ling speed. And that we may be in some trouble here. A couple of Overlords on the way. Viking does supply block Dark. Dark is going to be supply blocked here. Hellions soon to reveal themselves. Interesting. We're going Viking into an add-on swap into Banshee. Okay. Interesting. We are, in fact, getting to Banshee production. We're joining up behind this. Roaches have been spotted by the Hellions. And you can see that Dark is joining. So he's kind of feigning aggression here. He's revealing his hand, showing his army, joining up behind it, trying to fake out his opponent and trying to force an overreaction. And I like this because overall in this series, whenever Roaches are pushed out, we have committed. We have dealt a lot of damage, and this has to be taken seriously. Banshee has arrived just in time. Dark going to be forced back. I do appreciate that Maru did open up Banshee as well, just because Banshees are ideal against Roach openers, and Dark has been one to throw down Roaches quite a lot here in this series. Miles going to be slowing down the army. Again, we're getting quite a lot of value here as we pick off another Roach. Good pickoffs here by Maru. Does maintain control of his bases. Behind this, third CC is going to be on the way. Stim in production. Hellions, they go for a dive into the mineral line. Drones are, the drones, they are lining up. 4 workers go down. Not too bad here from Maru. Gonna gains map control. He gets a couple of workers. Maru's looking pretty good so far. Looking damn good here in the game number 6. Behind this +1 range on the way, we are committing to Roach Ravager. Okay. A style that I haven't seen too often here in recent times, but I do appreciate it. It's going to be a 1-1 Roach timing, can lead into 2-2. Banshees, they dip into the main base. Queen is being focused down. Do we have a transfuse? We do not. Oh, barely do in time. Clutch transfuse there out of Dark. He does force back those Banshees. We even focus one of them down. Good pick off there out of Dark. Gets a kill on the Banshee. Behind this, he's joining up to 3-base saturation, and he's cutting workers at 68. That is 3 bases here. He's focusing on Roach production. We'll keep an eye on the production tab here. Does he join any further? He does have an infestation bit on the way. Bailing Nest as well. It looks like we are soon to transition out of Roach Ravager into the next step, into, I imagine, Ling Bane. Ling speed still has not been researched, by the way. There it is! It's on the way! So we're getting out of Roach Ravager into Ling Bane, into Hive Tech, which means we have a longer game. For the first time this series, we're going to get into like a back and forth mid-game. Let's go. Here we go. We have a game on our hands. Again, this series has been very chaotic, very aggressive until now. I mean, even in this game, there were some fake outs, there were some mind games. Fester's on the way to help support. Double jump towards the south. Maru working on his 4th CC. Getting into his gases. Getting into his 2nd factory as well. So again, Maru working towards that late game. Towards the later stages of the game here. A lot of creep is being receded. A lot of creep is being shut down. Dark just trying to keep up. And yeah, there's our tech transition. Bailing speed on the way. +1 melee as well. This should be leading into, I think, ultras. Like, that's typically the direction that Dark likes to take this. Once the hive is done. We'll see if that's the case. As we're done with the range upgrades and we're not going to be getting into Hydra Lurker, which would have been the case if we invested into +2 range. Those are kind of like the 2 tech paths that you can go for off of Roach Ravager. Is either commit to range and go into Lurkers, or get back into Ling Bane, into Ultra. So you see Maru going for multi-pronged aggression. He's got a double jump towards the north. We have a double jump towards the south. Trying to pull Dark's attention apart. So far he's doing so. Doesn't quite get the queens. The northern base is a bit exposed, but nah, Dark is in position. How good is the fungal? Pretty good. Ooh, we catch the medic, the vials. No, show us the vials. Oh my. Bobby. Shaking my head. Did miss the medevac. did miss in the end as the double drop coming in. Snipes one of the queens. Good pickoff. Aye. Just about to throw my mic at the observer. Not like this. Behind this we have 4 CCs on the way. Oh my god. Of course, that's a lot of CCs. As we are walling up, we mentioned before that there's a lot of bases to be taken here on Solaris, and Maru is getting ready for those later stages of the game. We have drilling claws on the way for Widowmine production. There's that Ultra Cavern that we spoke about. Again, Roach Ravager into Lingbane into Ultras is just a transition that Dark is very fond of here, as we did mention. And it is a good way to gain map control. But it isn't just about map control. Maru, he's in the midst of taking a 5th base, and that is a dangerous proposition here for Dark. Typically, a lot of this kind of dynamic plays out in the Zerg player denying the 5th. And that 5th is quite exposed. It's on the low ground, you know, it's wide open, multiple angles of attack. That is going to be the target for Dark. In saying so, though, we have a pretty good position there with the tanks. There are tanks behind it on the high ground. That is where the Vipers come into play. Vipers with either abductions or blinding clouds, they can render those tanks inert, and we can still break that position. Likewise, as I talk about the value of the Viper here in this matchup, that's where the Ghost comes in, right? The counter to the Viper, EMPs. If we can land those EMPs, we can shut down the Vipers. We can, of course, maintain our position. Speaking of, the Ghost Academy just finished. That is Cloak for Ghosts on the way in the production tab. We are taking that direction, but here we go. Dark pushing in. Leading the charge with those Vipers. Does get the blinding clouds. Does catch one of those tanks and yoinks the medevac. Oh, a bit of a misclick. Despite that, though, the base, they get into the mineral line. They break on in. 12, 13 SCVs go down, and we take down the final tank. Good files there out of Dark. He does break this position. 21 workers, by the way. Oh my god. We didn't break the 5th, but we did break the 3rd. At the same time, Mind Drop comes in. Maru, he's one that does this quite often. It's really interesting. Like, this kind of mid to late game Mind Drops can really catch Zerg players off guard. Decent connections, but only 4 drones go down. And Dark is now focusing on his defenses back at home. Oh, does trickle in with some of those lings. Does bleed out quite a bit. As we are soon to go back to mining. Vipers just regathering their energy. Ultras on the way. Spire behind this again to Corruptors, again to Broodlords. We are taking up even further. And as these rocks get knocked down, Dark, he can focus and rotate over towards the south. As I say that, though, big Doom Drop into the main. And we are in position with at least an Ultra. And we force the pickup. Oh, the Spores! Oh my, almost take down a medevac. But again, good positioning from Dark. Good foresight as well of the threat of a Doom Drop. Getting ready for a drop towards the north. The Ghost Count is building up. I do appreciate that Dark is taking in every direction. He has a Spire for a Greater Spire. He also has a Hydra Den finishing up for Lurker Tech as well. As I say that, there's that Greater Spire on the way. Hydra upgrades in production as well. And we'll see how Dark decides to refine his army. Now, there are different ways to kind of build out the Zerg army here, depending on what the Terran has. But the ideal is to get into Broodlords to try to break these entrenched positions, assuming that Dark can't break them here and now. As the drop play continues, keeping Dark busy. Oh my god. Mine's just going to be going off. We got 3 drones. Maru, he's got his... sorry, I was saying 5th base earlier. Yeah, he's got his 5th base. Now a 6th on the way. I'm a little bit concerned here that Dark did allow this 5th to get up and running. Hasn't really applied too much pressure on it. But a big reason for that is because of the drop play. Like, shout out to Maru here for just engaging so much here in Widowmine drops and the Marine Doom drop as well. Not really overcommitting, not overextending, not losing too much, and just forcing Dark to stay busy back at home and allowing Maru to take control of his side of the map. You have sensor towers, missile turrets, planetaries finishing up. Maru's economy is looking solid. Looking very solid right now. And the problem is that now when Dark is getting ready to push in, I mean, Maru, he's already set up. Not even just at his bases, but even here in the center of the map with Widowmines and turrets. At the same time, Dark trying to bypass the army, slips in from behind. Oh, very little defenses here at the 3rd base. Once again, it's going to be broken. We do force back those SCVs. This time we do save them. This time they are going to be saved. Bane's coming in from behind. Decent connections. The Wiles. Oh my god. Lau's connecting with the army as well. Not a bad trade for Dark. Oh, Bailey say come back in. 9 SCVs do fall. We'll say some better trades for Dark overall. Good mind also. Stark, he tries to take control of the center of the map. Dipping in whenever he can. That Banshee going ham. But does get shut down by the Bile. Oh, sorry, by the Fungal. And by the Queens. Ling Bane is amassing. Looks like we haven't really invested too much into ultras. We have the upgrades, but we only have a handful of ultras on the field. Looks like we're, for the most part, done with that. And I mean, there are just so many ghosts anyway. Speaking of, a nuke here towards the 5th base of Dark. Oh. No reaction so far. Dark, does he see it? He doesn't. He does. Does see the nuke, does pull back. We'll lose, I want to say, 2 drones there in the process. That could have been so much worse. How did that drone live? That drone next to the gas geyser. What the hell? Only 1 worker went down. Good manual detonations there by Dark. Takes down the ghost. Oh, meanwhile, Maru working towards a lib transition. We have 3 starports. That's going to be 4 starports in total, alongside the fusion core for Liberator range. And ghost tank lib is kind of what you want here in the late game. You want to get out of bio play. But now there still has a pretty hefty Marine Marauder army. Nuke once again at the 5th. This time, though, much faster reaction. Dark does see it. Dark just shut it down. Oh, the snipes! Big snipes here on the roaches. The Lings, they do engage. We even force a friendly fire. Yeah, we will just crash into this army. We will clean this up. Yeah, a big chunk of Marauders do go down. Not the best trade from Maru. He does hold his ground, though. And again, like, he can afford to trade. He has map control. He's rebuilding with more ghosts. 7 ghosts at a time are in production. Decent EMPs. Ling Runback comes in, but this time we have a planetary. This time there is a planetary in position. Also, I don't think that Dark has seen bottom right. I don't think he's seen the 6th base. I don't think he's fully aware of just how robust the economy of Maru is. As he is soon to take a 7. And this is dangerous here. Maru soon to be even in the base count of the Zerg, with the Zerg. Something you typically don't want to be seeing here as a Zerg player. So Maru maintaining and taking a lead here in the economy. Dark has been able to deny these fresh bases in quite some time. Just hasn't been able to. Maru doing such a great job here, just keeping Dark busy in the middle of the map. Keeping his attention here in the center while he sneaks out that fringe base. I also love that we've been kind of like leapfrogging around with all these turrets. I do think that a big reason for this is kind of like the shift in the meta. Dark did kind of popularize going for just a mass amount of borrowed infestors all over the map for these crazy fungals. But with all these turrets, we have detection everywhere. Speaking of, we do get a surround. The planetary is going to be going down. At the same time, the center base of Dark also going to be falling. Both players will lose their bases. And hatcheries and planetary is going to be going down. Dark still with a mobile army. Going for the planetary here for the first time of Maru towards the bottom right. Baileys are rolling in. Well, we will get into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. Big connections. We get the base and the mineral line. Finally, damage is done here to the economy of Maru. Dark forcing Maru back, getting a bit of breathing room. Oh, big mine shot's going to be going off though on those Lings. Dark has to pull back. At the same time, his own base is going to be falling as well. Both players trading blow for blow. Dark has a bank to work with. So does Maru. And pushing on forward. Big fungal though here on the Ghost. Oh my god! Did we get the chain fungal? Not quite! Ghost's gonna be knocked down. Nuke will not connect. As we collapse here on the Ghost, but where are the Fungals? They're not there. Big overextension. Darky plummets in supply. And the Ghosts go ham. They go for the snipes. They shut down the roaches. They shut down the hydras. That may just be too much. Darky has it back, but he needs time to rebuild. Yeah, sometimes one fight is all it takes. Maru snowballing out of control. He will take down the center base. Yes, Liberator's reinforcing. GG gets called. Darky's run out of steam, run out of minerals, and Maru ties it up. We're going to the ace match. GG, well played. And I love this style as well from Maru. We spoke about this last week. If you were here for the group stage, you would have remembered that we casted Bjorn versus Shin and Maru versus Serral. And if you remember, both these ZVTs went to the late game, and both Bjorn and Maru had very different outlooks. When Bjorn started losing momentum with his drops, Bjorn is so quick in late game ZVT to wall up, switch out of bio production into just full mech ghost, like full like lib tank Thor ghost production, and a very like a slower style, a more turtle heavy style. Maru on the flip side isn't one to really embrace that too quickly. Despite the fact that he was working towards Liberators, he stays on Marine Marauder that much longer, and of course he does retain his drops, so he just keeps the pressure on anyway, and he just sticks with this more mobile composition that's just always in the face of Dark, always knocking down bases, always threatening drops as well. And as a result, this happened in the group stage as well to Serral, where Dark and Serral both had a really hard time actually having a presence on the map and stifling the economy of Maru. It's a really risky way to play, because if Maru ever does lose his drops, if he ever does lose momentum, then he doesn't really have a defensive setup to protect his bases, which is, you know, why when Dark was going for counterattacks, there was very little to defend back at home. So it is a risky way to play, but when it works, boy does it work. Like it's so active, it's so wild, and it's great to see here. Maru making it work both against Dark and against Serral, of course, last week as well. Oh, so yeah, very impressive style there out of Maru. From here though, we're getting into the ace match. It all comes down to game 7. It all comes down to Alkyone. Let's go. Let us go. So it all comes down to game 7, and I appreciate that regardless of some of the previous series being one-sided, we have gone all the way to the ace match here. That's all I wanted. But who makes it on, who advances on to face off against Hero is the question. Also, to put things into perspective, 1, Hero is the last Protoss in the tournament. Also, Maru is the last Terran player in the tournament as well. He is your Terran representative. Clem has fallen, Cure has fallen, Bjorn has fallen. Only Maru does stand to represent the Terrans out there, and can he make it? Can he make it into the next round, or can Dark stop him? As in the top right, we have Maru for onside. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Dark, a Korean Zerg player, the best Zerg in all of Korea. And ooh, Maru going to be opening up with what looks to be a 2-Rax Reaper, but as we've already seen earlier in this series on side Delta, Maru is willing to open up racks into expand into factory on the low ground. I'm not too fond of that build, I'll be honest, but he's willing to do it. This should be 2-Rax Reaper though. That should be. Here we go. Dark's been growing that mustache for like 3 years, Bappy. It's beautiful. For some context, I know that some people weren't here for it, but fun fact, Dark had an interview, was it last year? The years are blending together. Maybe it was 2021. It was either early 2022 or maybe end of 2021. He had an interview and people asked him, well, the interviewer asked him, what was with the goatee that he had grown? Like, what was with the facial hair? And it looks like it's not 2-Rax Reaper, it's Rax expand again. God damn it. People asking, you know, what's with the sudden facial hair? What's going on? And Dark said that that apparently he had made a bet, and that he had stuck with it, where he wouldn't shave until he won like a big premier event. And they were like, oh, but you won like you won, was it Valencia last year? And he's like, no. Like I think it was Valencia in 2021 or 2022. He's like, no, it's not bigger than that. And I remember when DKZ, when Dragon Z Gaming, when they won WTL, the team league, they asked him, they were like, yo, you know, are we shaving now? He's like, no, it's bigger. So Darky's looking for a big win. I imagine a GSL or an IEM, and until then, the mustache is staying as we shut down the Overlord. Oh my god. Overlord is going to be knocked down. Supply blocking Dark here in the early game. A nice catch out of Maru. Does shut it down. Likewise, did open up with that factory on the low ground, not with Reapers. He won Valencia 22. Yeah, that's it, yeah. I remember they did ask him specifically about Valencia. And he wasn't content about that. He wants it bigger, Bobby. Oh. As we're going for an add-on swap, Ling does confirm this, does scouts. Important, bearing in mind that the Overlord did fall, and we are opening up Hellion once again. Ooh, and just like on side Delta, this is a 1-1-1, by the way. This is a 1-1-1 opener from Maru. We saw on side Delta, this led into a Hellbat push. I wonder if he's planning on doing it again. Once again, Dark has enough gas for Ling's speed. He doesn't get Ling's speed. This could be another Roach opener. Maru going to be opening up double Hellion into Cyclones behind this. Interesting. So this time he is incorporating those Cyclones. There's that Roach one. As we mentioned, Ling's speed was avoided. Roaches are on the way. Roach is going to be in production. And this is going to be a very aggressive build here for Maru. Again, he is delaying his third CC. He's putting himself behind economically to get damage done early on. Building up his Cyclone counts. Building up that Liberator as well. We'll see if Maru can pull apart his opponent. Now, I'm curious if we're going to be pushing together as one, or if we try to harass with the Liberator, at the same time come in with the Hellion Cyclone. As we push towards the bases. Stim being prioritized, Stim being researched behind this. Roach Ward is done, Roaches are on the way. But before the Roaches can come out, we do get on top of the hatchery. And the Queen! Oh my god. Queen does slip away, Cyclones do reveal themselves. They do pivot away, respecting the army. Third CC on the way behind this, but the third CC is late, or it was delayed. So far, good movement out of Dark. Avoiding those lock-ons. Queens are getting low, though. Without Lings, it can be difficult to deal with this, but there are only two Cyclones. If they can be focused down, then we should be okay. As we pan back to the main base, we do get eyes on the follow-up here. Again, not an all-in, just delayed expansion. Getting into additional racks as well. It's not going to be Mech. We have seen Mech already in this series. Maru, he won a game with Mech, but it is going to be Bio. Liberator has arrived, camping that hatchery. Oh, sniping some of those eggs and getting some of those workers at the same time. The Hellions, they dive into the mineral line. Will they dive into the natural Roaches out of position? 7 drones go down. Oof, that's a lot of damage dealt. And suddenly, it is now worth it that Maru did delay his base. In delaying his third base, he had to deal some counter damage, and he does kill 7 workers. I would say that's going to be worth it. Ooh, Hellions, though, they're getting caught out, and Dark is pushing. Now, he's droning behind this. He's not reinforcing with Lynx. He's only pushing with a handful of Roach Ravager. Threading the bases. Stim is done. These add-ons are exposed, but at least Stim has completed. As Reactor's going to be going down. Oh, the natural base looking a little bit messy here. A lot of the production is exposed. And it looks like we may be able to get the Tech Lab alongside it. And Tech Lab does fall. Rax is forced to be lifted. But again, thankfully, Stim is done. We're not getting a repeat of what happened earlier in this series where Stim was sniped. Meanwhile, the Banshee has arrived, forcing this army back. Dark has been droning up the entire time, recovering from his dead workers and taking up into Lair Tech. Lairs are on the way. Dark working towards double Evo Chamber. I imagine going to be getting into 1-1. Getting into 1-1 Roach Ravager upgrades. Very similar to what we saw on Solaris. And this could eventually lead into Lingbane as well. For now, though, we're going to be pushing, reinforcing with additional Cyclones. Catching a Queen. Again, Dark forced to be defensive instead. Without Ling speed, with just Roach Ravager, we do have to stay back at home. Oh, that Liberator getting a lot of damage done. 6 drones go down. 6 drones for 1 live. That is an insane amount of damage. Dark taking a big blow to his economy. He is re-droning. He's, like, again, going to be resaturating, but quite a lot has to be reproduced there. 12 more workers on the way. Maru doing a great job at maintaining map control, shutting down a lot of those tumors. Sniping whatever he can. Behind this, Maru just getting into the swing of things. 4cc already on the way. We're taking gases. We should be seeing a second factory soon. And Maru in control. Meanwhile, very similar to the previous game, again, it's going to be Roach Ravager into Ling Bane, as we have +1 melee on the way, Ling Speed in production as well. We do have the fast infestation bit. This is going to be, I imagine, for Hive Tech for Ultras. This is just Dark's go-to. As this time we are incorporating a couple of safety infestors as well. Again, the downside right now is that Dark is lacking splash damage, is lacking AoE. Infestors will help support his Roach Ravager. As Maru is going for a double jump towards the south. Headed for that 4th base. Dark, he doesn't see this coming. Uh-oh, doesn't see it coming. We do see the stim. We dive on top of the queens. Queens are in position. 1 queen goes down. The 2nd queen as well. A 3rd queen going to be falling. No transfuse. We get a 4th and we get a 5th. Every queen falls. Big pickoffs. Very efficient trade there. 5 queens for 3 marines. Ay, ay, ay. As Maru backs off, his 4th base is so incredibly safe here. The queens have been reset, which means where's the anti-air? There is none. We cancel the gold. Oh, we're just picking Dark apart here. As we're pointing out, that wasn't just the marauding queens. That was every queen. No injects. No injects whatsoever. We have to rebuild from scratch. Vipers are on the way. I do think that we have to rely on spellcasters at this point. Like Dark, he's sustained so many losses already. He has been stifled. Things like fungals, parabombs, blinding clouds, abductions, like, we need to gain value here with our units. And we'll see if we can, because here comes Maru, and Maru does have a supply lead. Bearing in mind that Maru's supply is also more efficient. Roach Ravager is inflated. This gold base is going to be denied. That's going to be a kill, not a cancel. 300 minerals down the drain, and Maru, he's not slowing down. Dark in a lot of trouble. And he's hoping for 1 big juicy fungal. He's hoping that maybe Maru does overextend. Baal's going to be grazing the army. Fungal does catch a couple of marines, but it's not going to be enough. Instead, we go for a big Ling counterattack. We catch a tank. Not bad. We do manage to get not just 1, I believe 2 tanks going to be going down, even a 3rd tank. We do get into mineral line at the same time. That's going to be another kill on the hatchery, not a cancel. This thing run by is gaining value, that's true, but Maru does get a kill on another base. 6 SCVs go down. The gold is on the way for Maru. Losing 6-7 workers doesn't matter, not anymore. Gets another queen. Gets another queen, picks up, gets the hell out of there. Again, Dark, hoping for a Hail Mary play, does avoid the scan. Oh, both infestors do. Let's go. We collapse on the army. Big powerbomb, big fungal as well. Oh my god, we fungal every single marine. We collapse on this army, and this is what Dark was hoping for. This is what he wanted. A beautiful trade there for Dark. Maru plummets in supply. The trap was laid. It was set. It went off, Bappy. We're back in this. We are back in this. The gold base still up and running. Maru still can recover. Does have the better economy, does have the higher worker count. Big Ling run by here into the natural. SCVs are going down. He busts into the main as well. We get a handful of marines. But again, we're just trying to pull Maru apart as we do hit the 4th base at the same time. Oh, and that's going to be 14, 17 dead workers here. Again, this was an orbital, not a planetary. A little bit greedy there from Maru. But we do pull Maru apart. That's going to be 22 dead workers. Again, Maru, he was doing so well when he was the aggressor. But now suddenly, as it turns table, Maru, he is struggling to keep up. It's Dark. He's not taking this lying down. Behind this, remaxing with more Ling Bane, getting his own gold base up and running. Dark double expanding. Joining back up to 80. Getting into 3-3. Oh, we do have a Ling there, that's true. Baitings roll in, but good reaction out of Maru. This is a little bit greedy here as we shouldn't be able to get any connections. We forced out a scan at least. As Maru, he's getting ready for his own counterattack. He has maxed out at this point. Has recovered. But in the time it took for him to max out, so is Dark. Dark getting ready for another massive Ling run by. Which means this gold base is going to be forfeit. Yeah, the gold base is going to fall. The Lings, they flood into the natural, into the main base where it can't be the production. That's a lot of Lings. That's a lot of Lings. We cannot ignore this. We cannot avoid this. As he busts into the main base, 35 SCVs go down. Every single worker at the third, the main, the natural, and even the fourth base. Everything is on fire. Maru, he races back home. And that does expose the tanks. Dark, he catches Maru out. Does catch the army, gets 2 tanks. Again, Dark popping off here. Maru trying to stabilize, even supply blocked at this point. He can't make anything, not anymore. The tanks, and even the planetary. We go for the planetary, we should shut it down. As Maru barely any mining whatsoever here. Losing 40 workers, and the gold, and every tank. And from here, Dark, he can back off and remax. Again, everything was going Maru's way for so long, and suddenly, these Ling run-bys paid off. These Lings have been the MVPs here time and time again. Dark has been going for them, and initially they weren't quite worth it, it felt like. Initially, they weren't really achieving too much, but over time, they did gain value. As the Ling run-bys, they just don't stop. Once again, denying the gold base. Once again, another pack of Lings pushing towards the natural. This is the only real mining base here of Maru. The natural forfeit. We just get back into the main. Lings once again getting behind the base as well. We're forcing out scans. The main base is on fire. It goes down. We're running out of scans. As we try to catch the arm, we try to catch the ghosts. Oh my god. We do get one. We get a ghost. We get a tank as well. And Maru, he was so close. He was so close here in this game. He was breaking Dark 100%. Dark was struggling. He was dying straight up. But not anymore. You can see Maru smiling a little bit on cams. I think he realizes that the writing is a little bit on the wall here. The base, it's going to be burning down. And Dark is still maxed out. Ay, ay, ay. There was a moment in this game where I was kind of writing Dark off a little bit. I was like, yo, is this how it ends? Is this how Dark falls? Nah, Bobby. I mean, I talk about the Ling run-bys, how they've been the MVPs. I mean, really, let's not forget the big fungal growths, right? Like, the moments when he caught out the army. That was really the moment when things swung in favor of Dark, when he was able to catch the entire army with fungals, with power bombs. Allowed him to get the breathing room he needed. GG gets called, and Dark has done it. He takes Maru down a 4-3. Maru is eliminated from Master's Coliseum, and Dark advances on to face off against Hero. GG, well played. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. GG. It went down to the wire, and even then, even in this final game, Maru, he was looking so damn dominant. Initially, he was just pulling Dark apart, sniping so many hatcheries, so many bases, all the queens as well, trading so efficiently. Dark, he went for the Hail Mary play, the one way to win that game, with his spellcasters, with the fungal growths, with the vipers. There was that moment where Maru scanned, and when he missed both of the infestors, when they were hidden in the army of Maru. And that led to that moment when Dark swung things in his favor, when he caught out the army, cleaned everything up. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have our bracket. We have our bracket. Here it is. We have it. Hero versus Dark. Gonna be occurring tomorrow. We're done for the night. Hero versus Dark is gonna be tomorrow. The winner faces off against Rainer. The winner in that series faces off against Cyril in the grand finals on Sunday. 2 days left. 2 days left of Master Coliseum to crown our champion. Let's go. It's been a long time coming here. It's been a long tournament. We are down to 4 players left. Hero, Dark, Rainer, and Cyril. Again, Maru had an amazing run. He didn't look bad in this tournament. Did struggle against Cyril, is what I will say, in the upper bracket. The Cyril series was a little bit more brutal, is what I will say. But honestly, I was hoping for a rematch. I was really looking forward to a rematch. I was really looking forward to a potential Maru versus Cyril finals. But Dark says no to that, and yeah, things are still going to be spicy. What I will say is that Hero versus Dark, I look forward to it. We see them face off on a very regular basis. Hero versus Dark, if you're unfamiliar, we cast them on an almost daily basis here on the CranKy Ducklings, whether it's KSL, ESL Open Cup Asia, ESL Open Cup Americas, even in these big events like Kung Fu Cup, like Masters Coliseum, they face off so often, and they go back and forth, is what I will say. I believe Hero has like a winning record. I think it's like 60% in favor of Hero, like 65%. But, you know, despite that, Dark does often fight back as well, and when it matters most, he can bring Hero down. It's going to be a spicy one. It's going to be a spicy series. I do look forward to it. As a bit of a PSA, though, again, Hero versus Dark is happening tomorrow. Winner against Rainer, also happening tomorrow. We have been casting every day of Master Coliseum. We will not be casting it tomorrow. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of StarCraft going on, and we have other commitments. Tomorrow is the House Galactic Battle. The hell is that? There is a LAN event. There is an offline LAN event happening in Poland, where the best players in Poland are going to be facing off. Players like Mana, Alazer, Spirit, Christiana, Geralt, Papi, and many others are going to be facing off at an offline event in Poland, at a gaming bar. It's all going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. We've been casting it for the past couple of years. I want to say for the past last year and the year before that with the eSport events. We have a kind of a close relationship with the players in the Polish scene. So that is going to be taking priority tomorrow. It's going to be a day-long event, so all day we're going to be covering that. What I will say is that we will be casting the finals on Sunday, and before the finals, we are going to be going over and covering tomorrow's matches. So if you miss out on it, or I mean, there's plenty of other English coverage. You can watch Roddy if you want. There's Rotterdam, there's Wardy. I'm sure there are other English casters as well casting it live. If you do miss it live, as we will be going live on Sunday earlier, like 2 or 3 hours earlier before the finals, and we're going to be going over all of tomorrow's matches. We're going to be casting Dark versus Hero, and the winner against Rainer, just 24 hours after the event occurs, or like 18 hours or 20 hours or something, just as a heads up. So I know it's a little bit unfortunate. I would love to be able to cast multiple events at once. I can't. I've tried before, Poppy. I've tried before. And again, the House of Galactic Battle is an entire day of StarCraft as well. So that's something that we can't quite avoid. So yeah, that's gonna be our focus tomorrow as a heads up. Again, if you want to tune into one of the other streams, you can. Just as a reminder, we will be going over those matches the day after on Sunday. When we do go over them, no spoilers in the chat, by the way. We'll be keeping an eye out for that. So no spoilers if you do happen to watch it live in your own time on one of those other streams. Again, just as a heads up. Oh, just make a clone. True. Oh. Yeah, so that's just a heads up with what is coming up over the weekend. Otherwise, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time here tonight. And we're not done. I am a little bit tired, not gonna lie. It's been 3 hours. Didn't even notice. I'm a little bit tired. I'm a little bit worn out. But we have some more casting to do. So I'm kind of running out of time and I'm running out of days. I mentioned this before, but I'm going to be traveling to Poland next week. I'm going to be traveling to Poland. I'm going to be there at IM Katowice. I won't be casting IM Katowice, but I'm going to be traveling there on Tuesday. And of course, as always, we're casting every day of the week. And a lot of people have been asking me about viewer replay casts. We have like a stockpile of like 5, 6, 7 viewer replay casts, and I try to cover them whenever I can. We just haven't had time recently, but we have time now. So if you're in the chat, if you are unsatiated, if you still want some more StarCraft action, something a little bit more laid back, these are viewer submitted replays from the chat. We have viewers that are, you know, in Gold League, viewers in Masters League, viewers in GM. We have some pro players that did redeem some replays as well. So I'm looking forward to covering all of that. And yeah, that's going to be what is going to be coming up next year. I just want to try and catch up before I travel on Tuesday, because I know that I won't have enough time. And these games have already been banked up for the past like 2 weeks. I don't want to wait any longer, so let's go. We got some more StarCraft coming at you. Again, a little bit more of a chill, laid-back cast, because these are mainly like ladder games, even from the GMs, even from the pro players. It is just ladder games that they did experience, and they wanted us to cover. So yeah, look forward to it. So if you want to enjoy some chill viewer replays, then we got you covered. That's going to be coming up next here on the CranKy Ducklings. If you are only interested in Masters Coliseum, then I do bid you adieu, and we'll be back in 2 days on Sunday. In 2 days with the final matches of Masters Coliseum. To reiterate, we won't be casting tomorrow's matches live. We're going to be going over them. We're going over like kind of the restream or the rebroadcast on Sunday before the finals, before the grand finals. That's the current plan, at least. That is the current plan. I'm hoping that tomorrow's matches isn't like like all 7 games, then all 7 games. Because that's gonna mean that the final day is gonna be a bit of a long one for us. But you know, it's what we got to do if we want to cast everything. You know, that's what we have to do. Otherwise, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Thanks so much everyone for watching. Again, ! socials in the chat if you want to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, all that good stuff. We are on all things CranKy Ducklings. And I'm going to be going on a short break. I'm going to refill my water. I'm out of water. I'm going to refill my water. I'm going to go and set up all the overlays and set up all the replays and get ready for some chill viewer replays. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 replays to go over. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, some of these are team league matches. Team game matches as well. 4v4s. Sound though. Okay, Papi. Okay. We'll get into it. Nullified. Oh right, of course. Sorry, my apologies. Prediction. Only 2% bet on Dark? You're all animals. Oh my god. 2% on Dark. I'm shaking my head. To the... Where were the Dark supporters in the chat, Papi? Oh my god. Can someone clarify for me? Raynor off races only to avoid ZVZ, right? Yes, true. Raynor, he does typically avoid ZVZ with off racing. Fun fact though, if you're curious about Masters Coliseum, Raynor tried to off race. He wanted to off race during Masters Coliseum, but by rules of that specific tournament, Raynor was not allowed to play Protoss against Serral. I think specifically against Serral, he wanted to play Protoss. But upon per the rules of Masters Coliseum, he had to pick a race for the entire tournament. So Raynor won't be able to switch races and pick races in the coming days. Just as a heads up. KSL tomorrow. I think there is. Oh my god, we have to do KSL as well? Oh sorry, no, there is no KSL tomorrow, thank god. I was like, did I miss it on the calendar? No KSL tomorrow. For those that are curious as well, just before I go on break, KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, used to be a weekly tournament. Now, because the funding on Patreon has died down a little bit, it is a bi-weekly. So KSL is now a bi-weekly tournament, so tomorrow there isn't KSL, which is kind of good for me because it means I don't have to literally cast 24 hours, but it's a little bit bittersweet. A shout out to Dave Test and Chicken Man for hosting and running the KSL and really creating that initiative. It's really great. It's really beautiful. If you want to support the KSL, exclamation mark KSL. I wanted to exclamation mark KSL in the chat. There's the Patreon link if you're interested. But again, at the moment, KSL is currently running every 2 weeks, not every week. Just as a reminder. But yes, for now, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we have some viewer replays. And hold on, I got to choose the outcome. Bam. Dark. Coming out strong. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Until then, enjoy the Brood War OST. See you soon.